Okay, we're going to do something that's a little unorthodox, but it's off the air yesterday. We were laughing so hard at this, we figured we've got to share this with the audience. So I'll set the table briefly, and then I'll let G. Bush take it from there. A number of years ago, G. Bush had agreed to do a hit on a Kansas City radio station who thought he was someone else.
This was right after the Browns had beaten the Steelers in the playoff game.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple years ago, 2 years ago.
Right, and they were getting ready to
go against the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And what happened from there is almost too good to be true. G. Bush, take it from there. What happened?
So they're getting ready to play. Usually what happens when you're getting ready to play the Chiefs in another city, you know, if there's going to be a big game, they reach out to somebody from Cleveland and say, hey, can you want to come on and talk about the game and preview it from the Browns' perspective?
Right.
So in this case, I got a text message from their producer, and it was very vague, and I had already been on that radio station a couple times before because we had already played, I think.
Kansas City in the regular season.
Right. Yes. And so they're hitting me up, and I'm like, all right, well, cool, this is great. I'm like, I done made it. They done messed around and let me get this Kansas City game off. All right, cool, I'm on. He said, all right, well, thanks for coming. He was so conciliatory. He was just like, yeah, thanks for coming on. We appreciate your time. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, wow, I only work on Saturday, but I'm here to go. So then we text back and forth. So it gets time, comes around for me to do the interview. He calls me about 5 minutes early, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. I told my mom, yeah, I'm gonna be on in Kansas City. Yeah, man, I'm moving around nowadays. He hits me up like, hey, thanks for coming on. You ready to go? And so in the industry, what they do is they bring you on a little bit early so they can go right to you after the commercial break. So he put me on. I was on hold for about 2 or 3 minutes. And then this is where it all went left. He comes into the game and he's like,
well, don't give it away.
We ain't gonna give it away. He comes into the game and he introduces me, right? And once he introduces me, I had 2 or 3 seconds to figure out, am I gonna hang this phone up or am I gonna play along?
Play the tape.
Let's go to the video.
We know the Cleveland Browns got over the hump. It's been a long, long time since they had a playoff win. And someone who spent time in Cleveland, not only, of course, grew up in the area, but played for the Cleveland Browns and was able to win a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Prior to that, he is former Browns wide receiver Joe Jurevicius, kind enough to give us some time. Joe, great to have you on the show. Just what was your reaction, though, as you're watching that game on Sunday, knowing the long, long years, obviously, of suffering Browns fans?
It was just a great opportunity to just watch the Browns really, get over the hump a little bit there. When you go back and you look at, what the Browns have gone through over the long period of time.
You're trying to sound white. You are trying to sound white.
Area,
I gave it
growing
my
up
best shot.
in Northeast Ohio and looking at what, the Browns, look what the Browns have gone through from, the Biner fumble to, going through.
I love that picture.
That time period with Elway and some of the things that, John Elway put him through, not being able to get over the hump, and the team leaving. It was a relief just to be able to, put some of those things to the side. And not only be able to do that, but to be able to do that against the Pittsburgh Steelers and Big Ben Roethlisberger, who has been a thorn in the side of the Cleveland Browns. I would say pretty much since the team coming back in 1999.
Oh, my
God. It was just such a relief and something that was just such a great fact to
and this
see
went on and on?
Oh, no, this is not one segment. This is a couple.
Some of your other players as well.
There it is.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
And you did the whole interview.
How long did the interview go?
This 15 minutes. Listen, this is a.
They never said, bro, you are not Joe Jurevicius.
This is not the video. We can't even explain like all black dudes look alike.
We can't use that one. I don't even know. And I'm so you're not putting yourself in my circumstances. He already running it up. He already Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Joe Jurevicius.
Former Super Bowl champion.
But G went to his authoritarian talk.
No, he tried to sound white. He was trying to sound white. It's my favorite part. It's my favorite part.
I said, let me go to AM announcer voice. This is AM announcer voice in Indianapolis.
Oh my God.
And he was like, yo. Hey, and when he came back with the second caution, I said, I might have sold it. He was like, he repeated it. He said, Joe.
Told him Joe.
Wait a minute. Here's my favorite part of the story.
Yeah.
What nickname did you take on after that interview?
After the interview, so how they found out, so they actually, how this all got sparked was the simple fact that Bull was doing an afternoon show with Dustin, right? And so his kids called Joe Jurevicius called his kids and said, hey man, you're trending right now.
His kids called Joe.
Yeah, his kids called him. He said, you're trending right now. He said, for what? He ain't played in a minute. He said, yeah, there's this guy
who's impersonating you on a Kansas City radio station.
And he's 6'5" and he's black.
And then he came on our show.
He came on your show. They talked to him a bit.
How did the interview end?
Oh, he still
thinks he talked to Joe Jurevicius.
So he's telling me, how was it like the greatest part of being winning a Super Bowl?
What'd you tell him?
Oh man, I told him, man, listen, I got into this story. I was like,
it's fabulous.
When I got on when we went on the plane,
I don't think I heard that part.
When we got off the tarmac, I was just sitting there thinking like, just soaking it up. And I looked at the veterans next to me and I said, man, this is what we fight for. You know what I'm saying? And he's just like, yeah, man. I said, man, and then after it's done, man, you just sit around and you look, and because you don't never know if you're gonna get back there. That was my one shot.
This is on par with the scammer. This is on par with the scammer call.
It really is. So what was your nickname? What were your boys calling you after this? This is great.
So after we leave, I listened to the joint and they hit Justin up and they said, yeah, man, G. Bush, man. Listen, you are now forever known as Bro Jurevicius. Bro Jurevicius in the building. And he was a good sport about it. He was just like, I mean, I don't sound like that, but I mean, he didn't do a terrible job of faking it, right?
Yeah.
So it worked out. Shout out to Joe Jurevicius, by the way.
That is so funny.
And for all you up and coming new guys, if somebody call you from a main city, right, and tell you they want you to do an interview, they got to be thinking you somebody else. I'm like, I do one day a week. I said, I told my mom, I said, that was even better. I said, I went viral. I'm cool. I didn't even need the regular interview.
You know what would have been good, too? If you had done, like, the Dave Chappelle white guy voice.
Oh,
you really could have gone over the top. You could have gone over the top.
But I didn't.
You sold it. You sold it.
Because I didn't want the dude who booked it to look crazy. It's like kind of like because they're gonna ask him like, how did you not only not get a player, you didn't even get a full-time guy at the radio station. This dude does like 2.5 hours a week, and you got him.
I would love to have been in the studio when the call ended and they went to commercial break. I will assure you this.
Yeah.
Whoever his co-host was or his producer, the conversation went like this. Yo, do you think that was really Joe Jurevicius? I don't think that was Joe Jurevicius. Can we put the picture up again? Because that deserves discussion.
That graphic is
Who
so
made
good.
that graphic?
Look at the faces.
Oh my!
That was a Brianna special.
Brianna,
I like that.
Brianna, you are the real MVP.
That is
because that graphic absolutely tears me up.
That is so
Because the
funny.
look that we got on G. Bush's face was the same look he had on his face when he found out that they thought they were talking to Joe. He was like, what?
He was like this.
I feel like that's got to be G's picture for Good Bet, Bad Bet now.
Like it's like, I do need that.
Got to be that.
We do. Can we make
my
that G's
God.
picture from now on Good Bet, Bad Bet? Just cut out the uniform and everything. Like
There's something about your mouth being open that makes it puts it over the top. I don't know what it is.
Bree, you killed it.
Well done. Well done.
Hey, guys, DeQuell Jackson's.
Oh my God. DeQuell was watching
Jackson's
that
been
whole
listening
thing.
to this as he's in the queue to come on the show. There's
Brianna.
Bree.
Hey,
There's Bree.
get her back up on the screen.
Put her back up. Put her back up.
Look at get that
Bree.
wave.
We got the shot of Bree. We don't have the shot of Bree.
She was like,
Bree, you get 2 seconds of airtime. There she is. You get 2 seconds of airtime per show.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
Bree, that was brilliant. That was so good. Well done. Awesome job by you. DeQuell, what do you have to say about Bro Jurevicius?
That was an amazing story to hear. The fact that you sound so convincing that you were Joe Jurevicius. I don't know how. I stopped listening. I was in the queue listening. I was like, wait, he's still going. He's not going to tell him he's not Joe Jurevicius.
It went for
So he
15
just rolled
minutes.
this thing out.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That
Write it out.
Amazing.
Write it out. You gotta write it out. Hey, DeQuell, I was looking like, you know how you get your shit. You know how you be a linebacker. You know, it was like, hey, you know when you ain't getting no reps, you like on the 4th unit, and they got you running down on kickoff. You like, hey, whether or not they called the wrong package, they be like, hey, we going base right here. The dude had his shoes untied. You like, I got it. Don't worry about it. I was gonna get my money off regardless.
Hey, you crushed it. You crushed it. It was a great interview.
Hey, DeQuell, it went on for 15 minutes.
15.
And one of the questions, was, you know, so what was it like to win the Super Bowl? Talking about getting off the plane and on the tarmac looking at all the other veterans saying, hey, bro, we got to soak this up. We don't know if we're going to be back.
I'm going to pass out.
That is amazing. I've been confused by, casual fans have confused me for other players, but never, ever have I ever been confused for another player doing a radio interview and no one find out that you're really not who you say you are. That is absolutely amazing. I don't know how you pulled that off. That's a great way to start Friday.
Well, at some point, I think that we have to make contact with the host in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
Because I really need to hear from him. At what point did he realize it wasn't Joe? Because there's no way he did a 15-minute interview with G. Bush and thought at the end of it, I just talked to Joe Jurevicius. There's no way that can be the case.
But why would they have kept going if he didn't?
Hopefully the guy still has a job.
They kept going, Bull, for the same reason G. Bush kept going.
Right.
G. Bush didn't want to spoil the party
and
be like, yo, guys, my name's G. Bush and I do 2.5 hours on Saturday. I'm not a player. And the radio host was like, God, if he's gonna play this out, I'm gonna play this out because it's more embarrassing for me than it is for G. Bush.
Right, it's not embarrassing for him at all.
No.
Jay said it again. What did he say to him? He said, my name is what? What did he say?
My name is G. Bush.
My name is G. Bush.
They say G. Bush. They like I only know one person. That's a president. That's named G. Bush. Get him up out of here.
Oh man.
So hey Jay, I got a quick. If I could tell a really quick story. One time, it was my rookie year in Cleveland, and I was working with Hammer and I forget the other guy's name. But it was my first year in Cleveland, and I really didn't understand the weather, right? And this was late December. Yeah. I'm going to do a radio show, and I'm driving, and I don't know how to drive in the snow. And I'm at this point, I don't know whether I should go to the radio station or stay home, call from where I am. They tell me I can call in, but this time I'm on the road heading back home. As I get back to my house, I can see my house within 20 feet away. I spin out, I hit a mailbox on radio. And it wasn't like, I didn't pivot. I didn't know how to pivot other than to say, you know what, guys? I just ran into a freaking mailbox. I don't know what to do. And to see G maneuver and just crush this 15-minute radio gig, which he thought he was Joe Jurevicius, is just absolutely great.
What did they say?
I wish I had you in the car.
What did they say when you said, guys, I just hit a mailbox, I got to end the interview?
They were confused. They were like, wait, what? You did what? I'm like, yeah, my front end is smashed, and I'm looking at my neighbor's crushed mailbox. And we talked about it for probably a few minutes, and then we ended the conversation. And most times when I go back to Cleveland, when people remember me on radio, they remember that moment. And it's one of those moments,
That's funny. By the way, do you know Joe Jurevicius?
I do. I played with him. I haven't talked to him in forever, but he definitely doesn't sound anything like G.
No. And the funny thing is, I've interviewed Joe a lot because when he was in Tampa, I worked as the sports director at the ABC station in Tampa, Florida. And first of all, he's a stand-up, classy, great guy. Yeah. I love Joe. In fact, I think we're going to try to do something with Joe on the program here because he's a Cleveland guy. I think he went to high school at Lake Catholic, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But he's just a great guy, and he's a guy that I think we need to get involved in the show at some point. Hopefully, by the time football season rolls around, he'll be on the show, which I can't wait for his first interview because that clip is going to get played, and we're going to talk about that.